So, and to last longer, whether local or international, you have to be a what? Excellent. And not just once in a while, but lasting excellence. And that's what we want to reflect on. Here are some realities. The truth is, we are faced with challenges in our work, and we have a lot of obstacles. And I also know that sometimes we have, when I talk to organizations like ours, sometimes there's a lot of pressure. Some of you seem to be like you're in a pressure cooker already, yet the day has just started. These are some realities, yes or yes? And there are also some people who complain that there is little salary. So, little salary. Sometimes these are some of the things that we complain about. And I also know that there's usually some politics at the workplace. Office politics. People wanting to tarnish other people's names, or they want to just be the ones who... They do things, whether consciously or unconsciously, to make sure that other people's brands become lower and theirs go higher. So politics usually is about, because politics is about competing for resources, sometimes competing for attention. Some people will run to the top to make, they might even gossip just so that they attract the attention and even hurt some people, so long as for them they advance. Kastaba itao. Yina itao. And sometimes there is unfairness. Some people feel that some things are unfair. Some of us even feel that it's unfair that you're here rather than being out there selling. These people now they're giving us. Yet sometimes you're there also complaining that you do not have training. Hello? Are we together? Some people, it's unfair. I should have been taking my cup of tea by now, but because some of us at this time, that's when you're chasing a cup of tea and samosa. Who is that? Who usually does that? And we always seem to think that the grass is greener on the other side. There are some people who think that way, that the grass is greener, especially if someone is wearing green.
People think grass is greener in sales.
They think it's greener in sales. Yeah. Some think that way, that it's greener in sales. And usually the greenness, I don't know whether that word exists, but let's just suppose it's there. And usually the greenness, we are looking at the paycheck. That's what we describe as green. But you're not there when the sun is hitting them. You're not there when the client is banging the door in front of them. But you're not there when they receive no after no after no after no. You're not reading that greenness. You're not reading the greenness of being told, come next month. You come, they say, sorry, come next month. They appear, come next month. That's part of the greenness, I can assure you. Pardon me? They're telling you sold them air because they promised based on what the organization promises. And now the people at the clinic, they do not deliver. And guess who they call? The salespeople. You told us this. That is so green, my friend. It is always green when you're being abused by the client. It is so green. It is so green when you are hungry and yet you're receiving calls from the MD or the ED saying, where are the numbers? It is so green, I can assure you. What I know about sales is that, you don't sell, you don't eat. You don't sell, you don't eat. It is so green, by the way, that the best job is the one that you do not have. Always. Because maybe the salespeople also think that sitting in office is green. You are under AC, do you? No? But at least the sun doesn't hit you, the natural one. So, you've heard. Now, the salespeople also think that it is greener the other side. Hello? Hello? Are you hearing me? So what is green then? I think at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, greenery is how you choose to attend to your garden. It can only be green if you are attending to it. It can only be green if you are attending it with a positive attitude. It can only be green if you're raising your game. It can only be green if you're paying attention to details. That's where the greenery is. So, why should we talk about excellence? Because I don't just want to talk about excellence, but what are the advantages of excellence? First of all, before we go deeper into the topic. It is always a good feeling to know you've done well. Have you ever done something and you felt so good in that even if someone does not say thank you, already you're feeling good. You say, you know what, I did a fantastic job. Have you ever had that feeling? And it's, for me, it's the number one motivator, to know I've done a fantastic job. When you go for a sales presentation, you tell yourself, you know what, even though they didn't buy, but at least I know I gave it my very best. But to leave a place, you're like, I think I didn't nail it, thank you. I didn't deliver on the benefits well. Or when I was visiting the client, I really didn't connect well. I wasn't fully present. That's a bad feeling. But for me, the number one motivator is you should be your number one cheerleader. Because many times we do great things and people do not thank us enough. Sometimes they even abuse us. Kale, look, see. Vaya somerawa. Or you do so, you feel you've done your very best. Someone says, yeah, who are you? But you feel you've done. But at the end of the day, if you know you've done your very best, at least that is the core foundation to motivate yourself. The other core bit that I see is your job is the launch pad to greater things. We have a good friend of ours, she's called Ambrose Chibuka, is one of our associate consultants. He usually says that your job is your number one marketing tool. You see, other people pay money to be advertised in their papers, online. They spend money, so they are known for doing something. But for you, you are paid, or at least you're given an opportunity to showcase what you are capable of. Hello? Hello? That's a great opportunity. Because time is going to come whereby when you move on, they will call him. By the way, I understand this guy was working there. So how was he? Did you know, by the way, that the best reference you can ever get is your former supervisor or manager? Did you know that? But usually, how many of us have used relatives, friends, or people whom you have a great relationship with? Not a working relationship, but a good relationship with, and you've used them as your referees. How many of us have used that before? Just be honest. I'm sure most of us have. But I can tell you that the number one reference for employers, these days, that's the number one reference point. So please be careful. And number two, it's not just your supervisor, it's your colleagues here. Because I'm sure some of us have been called before, hey, by the way, do you know someone who is great at this? You've ever received those calls? Yes or yes? Yes. Exactly. So your colleagues are watching. So if you are not delivering, because here in this room, you can tell who is a top performer, who has a great attitude, who is not a thief, or who does not a thief, but who does not do manyanga-nyanga, shortcuts. They even connive with the clients. They connive with clients to make sure they get claims that are not existent. But remember, as you're doing these deals, your colleague is listening. So you're thinking the GM is not listening, but your colleague is listening, and the same colleague is the one who will be called. Do you know someone? Oh, I was thinking of this other person. What do you think? There's someone I almost hired, then a former working colleague. I said, by the way, what do you think of this person since you've ever said, that one is good at this, but this other side, And I didn't hire them.